I have my junk journal ready for a December. The challenge for creating the journal was to use blue jeans, ragged, tattered blue jeans. The tie for the journal I made out of a special ribbon in here and added silk to it in a kind of a blue jean color that would match, picking up some of the purples here. And the whole journal has a tree theme to it, so I stenciled and spray oxided on there. The white is an old linen tea towel, and it was from someone donated to me, but it's dated for 1891, and it's not that old. I added a few, well, this is from the tea towel also. And the back has a blue jean pocket with a lab notebook. And another journal here. Used the Mamagami process, and it is the city brick that I made a stamp out of. And then this is a fold out that I'll do something with when I create the journal with the December project. And the edge of the binding, I wanted to have some lace in it and beads on the edges. I added a couple tabs in here and here. So this envelope, I've got things in it for using in the journal when we create it. And then this one has research papers. So I'm going to do a little flip through of this journal. Inside cover was some fabric, some Tim Holtz fabric, cheesecloth that I sprayed with oxide, some other fabric that I cut the leaves out of and sprayed with oxide. And the back cover is the same way, adding a dragonfly. The front cover has a pocket in the top with the board in it for working on projects. So when I get to a page and there's lumps on it or something, I put this behind it to firm up the page to do the work on the page. And I've added extra paper to it so when I spray or anything, like I already sprayed part of it. And that's going to stay on here. And this was from another journal that I took apart. So this will stay on here. And then I can vintage up those envelopes. And then this was another small journal to add, because I like to write things down occasionally when I'm working through a project. Write down what's going on. So I've got plenty of pages to write on in here. If I use a bright marker on here to write with. And this is the Mamagami process. It's got the wadded paper that I had gel printed on. Okay. Let me put some books under here. Make it more even. So this was a gel print page with the old dictionary page and a stencil, and then I outlined on the tree there and put a Robert Frost quote. And here is my page with my enlarged business card. It's a stamp, and I drew a picture, kind of me with a tutu on, and doing artwork on the easel there. And then I have my little circle area here for the stamp and the cancellation going across. And this is a used book with birds in it, and so I kind of left one of the birds, but I had cleaned my gel printer brayer on that page underneath. This is a coffee dyed tree leaf from the grandmother tree that's in my yard, the 4 or 500-year-old tree. And I have little quotes on here. And when I clean my brayer, when I'm doing gel printing, like these little journals, I've done some leaf prints. And when I clean off my brayer, I use a scrap paper to clean off. And then I save the scraps because some of them turn out really pretty. But this is a Mamagami journal, and it's the city brick that I made a stamp out of. And then I just took a piece of the limb from the grandmother tree and wrapped it with some gold. And this is a belly band up here that I sewed on. And these pages are just assortment of tree leaves from the grandmother tree. But I have it blocked out so I can keep my book in frame. As I go through the video. So, and then I used fabric as the hinge on this one, and I have quotes on there. This was some music sheets, and it actually did have a stain on here already, and I added the spray oxide and lace on the edge. An old calendar from 1978. And that is coffee stained. And then this is a gel print. And I doubled up on the page so I could have an extra area here when I go to do the prompts in the Defember. I have plenty of extra spaces. And I did make this much larger because I want to journal the tree in here as the year goes by, or a couple years. So I think it's over 160 pages. And 18 of them will be used for Defember. And they had little prompts to add things, so I want to add this to some point in the journal, this tag and blank page. And this is some more gel printing, and I did a leaf in the gel print and then outlined it because it was so vague with a silver pen, and then did the Semitic writing on the sides here. And this is a special page I made just for the tree journal. This is actually a redwood tree, and it's a stencil that I had kind of enlarged and just moved the stencil over, added the ferns at the bottom, and I wanted to add butterflies to it, so I did her butterfly that she suggested. And I made a little tab here. It says grandmother tree. And the reason for the redwood tree is because Julia Butterfly Hill camped out in a tree for 780 some days, protesting the lumber company, keeping them from cutting down the redwood, and she was successful. So I've named my tree Julia in honor of her. And this is my tree's footprint. The center, of course, is unknown because it's a living tree right now, but based on how the limbs look, I thought, well, I'll add some growth rings in there. And then I added a few little leaves around. These are drawings from the leaves of the grandmother tree and the acorns, but the acorns are much, much smaller than this. They're the size of the end of my finger. And then I added these wires. I will do some kind of dangle from there, but I'm not sure what the dangle will be at this point. So this wraps around on this page because I made the belly band over here. And this is one where you'll stick something in here, a card or a tag or a little journal. And that's what a belly band is. And it's a specimen slide with plastic on the top. And inside, well, this is actually a redwood pine cone, parts of a redwood pine cone. And then these are from the grandmother tree, the ferns from the up in the tree and the mosses in the tree. And this was a bud, leaf bud that hadn't leafed out. And then I put the bird behind here, and some oxide sprays and stamps. And then this is another gel print page. All of a sudden the sun has gotten really super bright. So there's plenty of extra pages in here to do the challenge on when we get the challenge. This was a drawing of the grandmother tree here with a creek going down around into the woods. And this was a dogwood that was real pretty just 2 days ago. So that will be my first drawing that I add to my journal. Not sure where I'll add it yet, but it's going to be right there. This was another scrap from gel printing. It was the old Reader's Digest pages. And then I did another stencil on top of it to give it some nice features. Another coffee stain page. This is a blue jean strip on a pocket. And a quote from Mary Walker. And then this is another gel print. And I put the butterfly on, and I use the, oh heck, I can't remember the name of the powder you put on. And then you heat it, and it makes it kind of a shiny surface. And this is a raven that I want to add to the journal somewhere, but don't know where I'll add it yet. This one I drew on collaged background and then a watercolor. Of course, my voice wants to go right now. Don't know why. And this is rust-stained paper with leaves, and it is the grandmother tree leaf. Then an envelope, flap, some research paper I found that I thought would be handy in here, and a family tree and old money. Because I figure this tree is 400 and 500 years old. It must be the late 1600s, I think. This was a nest gel print where you took a nesting of vines, circular vines and leaves, and then put it on the gel plate, picked it off, then did your print, and then I added the eggs in there. And some more vintage paper in the envelope, and I put a texture paste on here for 24. And this was another elementary applied chemistry form, so you could fill that out for different things. And some lace. This is also rust dyed and then sprayed with coffee, instant coffee. And that powder again, I can't remember the name of the powder. So there's plenty of empty pages to continue the challenge with. This is another gel print with leaves. And then this is white cardstock, and I put lace down on it and then sprayed the instant coffee spray on there. And this is a distressed oxide spray on it. Another scrap gel plate that I laid alphabet on and did some more gel printing on top of it. And the hinge is fabric that goes into the binding. And a spray oxide on here on this music page. And this is the other envelope. So I printed off some information research forms, and I put a whole bunch of research forms in here that I'll use as I document the tree or trees around my grandmother tree. This is another rust-stained paper, and you can actually see the nails here. And then it was sprayed with coffee when it was damp. And I added this little tab on here. It says research. Oh, the sun is super bright again. Another gel print page. Some blank pages. And this is a stencil of a tree, and it's gel printed. Another gel print page, another dyed page. Some of these are cardstock, some are just copy paper. And the envelope flap, another music sheet, some coffee dyed paper, some more scrap paper that I've gel printed on. This is a stamp of a leaf. This is the doily that I sprayed the coffee on. This is a gel print. I think I can take this book out now. On black paper, gold acrylic paint on the gel print. So this will be a blank page to play on. This is a grocery sack handle that I untwisted, added, and a gel print. And scrap gel paper that I went over with white and a corrugated cardboard. A little pocket here. A stamp on scrap paper again. I use up a lot of my scraps. Some of them are really pretty. Here's a scrap that I did the purple cleaning the brayer off, and then I put white paint on corrugated cardboard and laid it down to give lines. And then I cut the hole in this page. I'm not sure what I'm going to do around this, but I wanted the bird to show through, the raven. And these are more leaves from the grandmother tree. And then I've lashed on this stick from the grandmother tree and these little acorns. And the cutout I put on here through this because I wanted to reinforce this page. So this will be reworked. Who knows what it'll end up being. And some stars on that page. And a pocket here. And that's some more of that tea towel that's left. And the rest of that black page. And then the last signature, which I did 6 signatures. This is the tree. The sun is so bright right now. This was a plastic placemat that I used for the gel plate. More gel printing. Some more, I think it's pronounced asthmatic writing, which is nonsense writing. Coffee dyed paper, another envelope. Plenty of blank pages. This is a maple leaf. This is a tuck spot. This is another doily print. You lay the doily down on the paper, and it needs to be an open weave kind of doily. And then spray the doily in the paper with the coffee spray, instant coffee. And pull it off, and you've got your imprint. And I put this vintage lace around the outside of it. It really turned out pretty, but I'm not sure about the lace, but it's there. And this is the other page of the maple leaves. Envelope, some more coffee dyed paper. Plenty of places to add all kinds of stuff. This is an envelope sewn in. And this is the 6th signature. I like the hodgepodge of colors in here. And this is a specimen card that opens up. So I can put something inside there. And this was a fern print on the gel plate. And more print. And I put this manila envelope. Who knows what that's going to turn into, but it definitely is not going to stay like that. Dictionary pages, a doily, paper doily, some more coffee dyed paper. This is the brick in town, and I have a collection of these bricks from the city, and I did a stamp of this brick using the brick itself and put paint on the brick and then stamped it on a cardstock. Let me think of how I did it. I think I stamped it right on the foam sheet, then cut the foam sheet completely out and used it as the stencil to create my brick stamp. Another pocket here. Some more leaves, doily, dictionary page. And then this page here, I've added a little tab. And I've got things in here that I'm going to use in the journal somewhere, don't know where. This is a zine. And so what I did was take a piece of paper a little larger than, I think it's smaller than a legal size, but larger than copy paper. And I laid my leaves down, actually, and then cut them all out. But the background here, the yellow and the rust color, that is another gel print. And then I glued my leaves on and then did the writing, asthmatic writing inside, splattered with some gold paint. And then you fold it in half and cut. And then when you fold these, it folds into a book. So all the pages have been splattered, and then on the inside, it was also gel printed, the greens, and I added bits of paper so I could make little notes about the grandmother tree as time goes on. So I'm going to save that in here because I'm not sure where I'll put this in the journal, but it's going to be added. You see, this is what I cut out leaves like this to add to that zine. There's another leaf print. And the end. So I've got pockets and belly bands and all kinds of... Oh, this is the Luna Moth by Julia Butterfly Hill, Legacy of Luna, the tree that she lived in. So that's it. That's my journal. I got a couple beads sewn on the back. I had a dangle, but I wasn't happy with that dangle, so I might come up with something else to hang off of it. And I love the beads in here and all the lace and the tabs. That's it from Dreaming Tree Farm.